Well, if you are on the hunt for some easy and delicious holiday appetizers, you are in the right place. I'm sharing 4 delicious appetizers that are perfect for the upcoming holidays. We still have Thanksgiving, and then of course Christmas time. I love appetizers. These are gonna be awesome for crowds, or if you just wanna have like a family night in and have something yummy and delicious that feels festive. These appetizers are definitely not gonna disappoint. And if we haven't met before, my name is Anne, welcome, and this is the Menu Made Kitchen. All right, so for this first recipe I'm sharing with you, this is my Mediterranean artichoke dip bruschetta. So this basically takes like a really delicious artichoke dip, and then you add some Mediterranean flavors to it, smear it on some toast, and pop it under the broiler until it's bubbly and golden. Oh my gosh, it is such a delicious and easy appetizer, but it feels kind of fancy, so it's perfect for the holidays. I think you're gonna love it. Okay, so for our Mediterranean bruschetta, we have to start by creaming together our cream cheese and mayo. So I have 4 ounces of really softened cream cheese. I just put this in the microwave to make sure it was really soft. And then we have a half a cup of good mayo. Okay, so I have my hand blender here. So you don't want to put this in the food processor because we still want there to be some texture to our spread when we put it on our little toasts. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this blended up just until these ingredients are combined. So now we're gonna add in the rest of our ingredients. I have a half a cup each of jack cheese, grated Parmesan, and then feta cheese. And what I used for my feta, the tomato basil, I don't know if you can see that, the tomato basil, and it's already crumbled. So we'll add all that cheese in. And then I have 1 whole can of artichokes that I've chopped up really fine, and I also drained these. I love artichokes so much. But what's nice about this recipe is if you're not a big artichoke fan, there's so many other flavors going on that they kind of just get mixed in with the rest of the flavors. So a lot of people that don't like artichokes actually enjoy this recipe. And then I have a 1/3 cup of deli olives that I chopped up fine. We have 1 tablespoon of fresh parsley. And then I have a garlic clove here. I'm just gonna grate in probably half of this. I don't want this to be crazy garlicky, but just a little bit. And the grating will ensure that there aren't any big chunks that you bite into, because this really doesn't cook very long. It just goes under the broiler. Feel free to add as much garlic as you want though. Okay, and then we're just gonna take our blender and blend everything together. Oh my gosh, this looks and smells so good. Look at that, so cheesy. Okay, so I'm gonna get my baguette. I have to get it sliced up, and then we're gonna start spreading this delicious mixture on each of our little pieces of bread. So I have a baguette here, and I'm just slicing these into like 1/2-inch slices. And then once I get all of this done, then we will start like pulling this together. Okay, I have all of my bread pieces on here. I'm gonna take my spoon and I'm just gonna spread on some of my mixture, and I wanna make sure to cover the entire surface of the bread. That way the edges don't burn under the broiler. So I'll get all of that done, and then we finally get to put these in the oven. Okay, so I have my broiler set on high, and I'm gonna pop these on the second shelf from the top, and we will just broil these for about 2 or 3 minutes, really until the tops are bubbly and golden brown, and then we'll pull them out and we get to taste them. Okay, check these out. Don't those look beautiful? I wanted to let them cool just a little bit before we tried them together because I was afraid I was gonna burn my tongue off. But I did add a little bit more parsley to the top just to make it look pretty. My home, it smells so good right now. If you want your bread extra toasty, you can definitely toast it first and then add your spread. But I like the bread to still be a little bit soft, but then toasty around the edges. I only make this during the holidays, and I look forward to it every year. It is so rich and decadent and cheesy. and perfect for a holiday appetizer or snack. Everyone will love it. It's simple to make. I love that. It's cheesy, it's garlicky, so delicious. Okay, so for our smoked sausage cheddar cranberry bites, really simple ingredients. This just looked like such a fun appetizer, and I love easy ones like this. So we have a rope of turkey smoked sausage. Use any kind of smoked sausage that you like. And then I also have some extra white sharp cheddar cheese. We're gonna do whole cranberry sauce for this. And then I'm gonna do some rosemary because I really love rosemary during the holidays, but you can definitely do some parsley just to kind of garnish and make it look pretty. So I need to get my sausage sliced up and my cheese cubed. And then once we do all that, then we'll bring the sheet pan over and go from there. I got everything prepped. All of my cheese cubes are done. And I am telling you, if you have not had the Old Crock extra sharp cheddar, let's see if I can focus that so that you can get a good visual. This cheese is so good. So I cut myself some little cubes so I can kind of snack on them while I'm putting this together. All right, so we have our little sausage slices, and I'm just gonna place them on my parchment here, or my sheet pan with parchment paper. Really simple. I have my oven set at 400 degrees, and we are going to bake these. Actually, I'll flip that on that side. For about 15 or 20 minutes. You really want them to be kind of golden, get a little nice crust on the bottom. And then basically we're just gonna pull this together. Really simple. I'm super excited about this appetizer. And I think the combination of the cheese and the smoked sausage is gonna be really good. Okay, putting these in the oven, and I'm gonna finish up my cheese over here. Okay, our sausages are cooked, and on the bottom here they got kind of golden brown. I actually let these cool for a few minutes because I didn't want to put the cheese on there and then the cheese start to melt, because we want it all to kind of stay together. And then what you're supposed to do with the whole cranberry sauce is use a spoon and just kind of cherry pick out some of the whole cranberries so that you have just one little piece to put on top of the cheese, basically. And then of course we have our party toothpicks. Okay, so I'll just kind of demonstrate. I'm going to set a piece of cheese on top of one of our sausages. We'll take a toothpick and I'll just kind of stab one of my cranberries and then just poke it right through. How fun is that, and how easy? And then we're going to take a little bit of our rosemary and just kind of garnish it. I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect, but even just that little bit of green on top of there is so pretty. Look at this. I mean, do you just not want to eat that entire thing? Okay, so I'm gonna get the rest of our sausages assembled, and then we get to taste these. Okay, I am very excited about these. I just think they are so adorable, and they were actually really fun to put together and easy, and I think the combination is just gonna be fantastic. Okay, I'm definitely not dressed very holiday today, am I? I've got my Thelma and Louise shirt on, but I did do my hair for you. All right, here we go. I love anything with that sweet, salty, savory combination, and this is exactly what that is. I feel like it's almost like a charcuterie on a toothpick. It's so good. These are super fun, really delicious flavor, and I love that little touch of rosemary on there, but I know not everybody loves that herb, so do some parsley or a little bit of thyme. Any kind of like herb over this would be so good. It's such a fun holiday appetizer. I think you're really going to enjoy these. Okay, so for our pepper jelly whipped cream cheese appetizer, this only has 3 ingredients, and really you could just do 2 ingredients, but I am going to add sliced jalapenos to make it look pretty. So if you're new in the kitchen or new to cooking, maybe you haven't heard of this dip, but it's definitely a classic during the holidays. It's usually a block of cream cheese and then you add pepper jelly over the top of that. But I'm actually going to do whipped cream cheese because I really like the texture of it. So this is a 12-ounce container. I don't think I'll probably quite use it all, but I'm just going to add enough to kind of coat the bottom of this bowl here. And then I like to kind of spread out the cream cheese to the edges because you want to be able to see both the cream cheese and the pepper jelly once you serve this and you're presenting it to your guests, or maybe you're just eating it with you and your family. But it always looks pretty when you can see both. The nice thing about doing the whipped cream cheese too is a lot of times with a block of cream cheese, you still need a knife to kind of scoop it up. With the whipped cream cheese, you can just take your cracker and dip it right in. It's awesome. Okay, and then for the pepper jelly, there are so many different varieties of pepper jelly out there. Most grocery stores will have at least 1 or 2 different kinds. This one is from Trader Joe's and it's the hot and sweet. They're all kind of sweet and spicy. But I think that this will be really fun and I love the color. And depending on the brand, you might need to go in with a spoon and break it up. But this one from Trader Joe's is already soft. It's easily, can be poured easily. So I'm just going to take my pepper jelly and just pour it on. I don't know if I'm going to use all of that. We'll kind of see. Because like I said, I like there to be a little edge of cream cheese so that you can see both. But already, so pretty. Okay, so I'll just kind of smooth this out just a little bit. And we can always add more jelly if we need to as the night goes on. And then I'm just going to take a few of my jalapeno slices just to make it look pretty because it's kind of the holidays and that green color looks really pretty. I'm all about like presentation and how things look. All right, I think that looks great. This is ready to serve. So simple. What's great about this is you can make this ahead of time, pop it in the fridge, and then when you have your friends over or you have a party, then you can pull it out and it's ready to go. But I'm gonna dive in right now. I wanna give this a taste with you. Okay, this isn't really something that you can just like, well, I suppose you could scoop some out and put it on a plate and do it that way, but it's more fun just to dive in right here. So let me set this down. I'll get myself a cracker and some of this cream cheese and pepper jelly. Okay, I'm gonna try a Ritz first. Yum. Such a delicious, classic, easy recipe to take to any kind of holiday gathering. Everyone loves it. And if you've never tried it with the whipped cream cheese, it is so good. And it's really beautiful too. I think it's a really festive dish. Super yummy. You'll have to give this one a try. Okay, so I wanted to give a little bit of backstory on this next recipe. This is bacon cups with barbecue chipotle sweet potato. So this was a recipe that my best friend created years ago, and it has been something that I make almost every year. I love this recipe because it's kind of impressive, but it's really easy to put together, very simple ingredients. It is so delicious, and even if you don't like sweet potatoes, I'm sure you're gonna love this recipe. All right, so for our bacon cups with barbecue chipotle sweet potatoes, I wanna start by getting our potatoes softened. I also have my oven set at 400 because we're gonna put together our bacon cups, but let's start the potatoes first. So I'm gonna add 1.5 tablespoons of olive oil to my skillet that I have set on like a medium heat. And then I'm using 1 large sweet potato, and you definitely wanna make sure to cut your sweet potatoes really small because they are gonna be going inside the bacon cups. We don't want it to be too big of chunks in the little cups. So we're gonna add all of our potatoes to our pan. And I'm not gonna add any salt and pepper because we're gonna be adding a Chipotle barbecue sauce. That is gonna have plenty of seasoning and saltiness and all of that. So we just wanna get the potatoes caramelized and tender. Okay, while that happens, let's move over to the cutting board and we're gonna get our little bacon cups assembled. So what we're gonna do, I have a 12-cup muffin tin here. I sprayed it really generously, each cup with nonstick cooking spray. And so I've got my pancetta rounds, and you can usually find these at the store in like the specialty meat section. And here, I'll show you what it looks like. So it's uncured pancetta. So you don't want the little cubes, obviously, because we're turning these into cups. And they're basically little thin rounds. And so we're gonna put these in the muffin cups and create kind of a bacon cup. And each package has about 7, so depending on how many people you're serving, they are so addicting, like literally you'll want to just eat the entire pan. And when they come out of the package, you can see some of them kind of want to fall apart, but that's okay. So just try to keep it together. And we're just going to take, I'll do the center here so you can see it. We're just going to take our little cup and press it down into our muffin tin and create a little cup. Kind of like if you were to do it with dough. Okay, so we got that in there. Let's do one more. Okay, so we've got our round here, and then just push it down into your muffin cup. Like that. Really easy. So this takes a little bit of time to do, but we're only doing 12 of them, so not a big deal. Okay, the potatoes are sizzling away. So I've got all of these filled. The next thing I'm going to do is I have another muffin pan, same size, and I've sprayed the underside of it really well with nonstick spray. So we're going to take it and flip it over and then just set the tin carefully down in there. And the whole idea of this is if you don't do this, the bacon will kind of curl up in the oven and then kind of lose its shape. So this helps keep that nice cup shape. And then I have my sheet pan here. Oops, that popped up. I've lined it with foil, and I'm going to take my pan here and I'm going to flip it over and place it on top of my sheet pan. Okay, that way when it comes out of the oven, I'm just going to pull this top off and then we'll have our little cups. So oven set at 400 degrees. I'm going to pop these in for about 12 to 13 minutes, really until they're crisp and they come off the little cups easily and they're ready to go. So let's do that and we'll check on our sweet potatoes. Potatoes are looking good. You can kind of tell, hopefully from there, that they're getting a little bit kind of blackened and caramelized. So while these finish up, let's get our Chipotle barbecue sauce made. Really simple ingredients for our Chipotle barbecue sauce. We're going to add 3 tablespoons of really any kind of barbecue sauce that you like. I happen to have the sticky sweet stubs, so that's what I'm going to use. This barbecue sauce is actually the Chipotle barbecue sauce for my grilled pork chops on my website. It is so good, super easy, and it pairs so well with the sweet potatoes. And then we're going to add in pure maple syrup for a little sweetness. We're also going to do 3 tablespoons. And then we're going to add in 1 tablespoon of chipotle peppers. And I happen to find at the grocery store the chipotle peppers diced already in adobo sauce, which I just love because how many times do you buy a can and you don't use it all? So this is perfect. And like I said, just 1 tablespoon will be plenty. That looks pretty good. Oh, it already smells so good. Okay, let's head over to our sweet potatoes. I just tried one of my potatoes and they're perfect. You definitely don't want these to be mush. So, still have my heat set on medium, and I'm just going to take my chipotle sauce, and I think I'm going to use all of it. So we'll just pour it in there. And we're basically just going to cook this until it's kind of thick and sticky. You don't want it to be too saucy when we put it into the cups. Oh my gosh. It's like the best smell. It's so smoky. You can definitely smell that barbecue sauce. Yum. This step only takes like 2 or 3 minutes. It is pretty much ready to go. So I'm going to pull this off the heat and we'll wait for our bacon cups to finish cooking. Okay, I pulled these out of the oven. I did check them and these had to go about 15 minutes for them to get crispy like I needed them to. So I'm just going to take my tongs. I've got my little oven mitts, whatever you want to call it, my silicone oven mitts. I love these things. And I'm just going to take my tongs and just gently lift the pan off the top. See what we got on the bottom here. Okay, as you can see, this one did not turn out very good. That did not stay in a cup form. But we're going to let these cool because they'll kind of set and get crispy, and then we can transfer them to a paper towel. Okay, so a really important step, you saw that I transferred these to a paper towel, and then you're going to want to let them completely cool because as they cool, they will definitely firm up. Now just keep in mind, little piece there, that these are very fragile because they are thin. So I got my other ingredients here. We have our Chipotle sweet potatoes, and I'm just gonna take a little scoop and add it right to the center of each cup. So about that much, about like a tablespoon or so. And I did have 2 extra cups, but they didn't fit on this plate, and I really wanted to display this plate. I feel like the hardest part about this recipe, honestly, is making sure that you get your pancetta bacon cups somewhat round enough and that they stay together. But they're not going to be perfect because they are so thin. So even when I pulled these out of the oven, I kind of went around and molded and shaped some of them, and that's really helpful. You know what? It is worth every bit of effort. When you pop one of these guys in your mouth, oh my gosh. So then I'm going to take my sour cream and just squeeze a little dollop on top. It just makes it. If you don't like sour cream, you can definitely leave it off. Actually, one of my girlfriends is dairy free, and I've made these before her. I've made these for her in the past, and she'll eat them even without the sour cream and still enjoys them. So how cute. Okay, and then some green onion slices, because we got to have a little green. Just makes it look pretty and festive, and it gives it a little kind of oniony bite. So adorable. What a fun little appetizer, aren't they? Okay, let's give these a taste. All right, I wanted to try a couple with you. Aren't they so adorable? I just think they're so much fun and festive, and I mean, really the holidays is the perfect time of year to make these because they're kind of fancy, but really easy to make. But don't get stressed out if you feel like your cups aren't coming out right, because like I said, you can kind of mold them into shape a little bit when they come out of the oven. And once they set, they do crisp up a little bit. And I'm trying to decide, do I want to just do this in a one bite? Okay, I think I'm gonna take a half a bite of this because this round is actually pretty big. Okay, guys, my battery went dead right as I was chewing. So I had to change the battery. I finished the other half a bite because it was just so good. I'm like, well, I'm not gonna waste this. But I have one left. I can't even explain like the perfect balance of smoky, sweet, savory, like the salty bacon. This is just a super delicious, very elevated type of appetizer that nobody would expect. And especially if you don't like sweet potatoes, it is a great recipe to make for somebody who doesn't like sweet potatoes, because the barbecue smokiness, it's like you put it on regular potatoes. That little dollop of sour cream on there and the chives, it just, the whole package is just so good. So I'm gonna try another bite with you. Really hard not to go over and devour that whole plate. I encourage you to try these. Make sure to check out the blog because I have detailed instructions in there, some tips to kind of help you along. It's not a stressful appetizer, but it's definitely worth the teensy bit of effort you do have to put into it. I think you're really gonna love them. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's video and you have some inspiration now for your upcoming holiday parties. You'll have to let me know which ones look good to you. And don't forget, all the recipe links can be found in the descriptions. And if you're new here, I'd love for you to be part of my YouTube family, so make sure to subscribe. I hope you have a really blessed week, and we will see you next time.